Sonia Massie could have survived. That was the testimony from the forensic pathologist who performed Massie's autopsy. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Dawn Sterling.
And I'm Stacey Scrives. The trial for former Sangamon County Deputy Sean Grayson just wrapped its fourth day, the second day of testimony.
Grayson is on trial for first-degree murder. He shot and killed Sonia Massie inside of her home in July of 2024. Prosecutors say Grayson violated policing standards. His attorneys say it was a tragedy, but it doesn't amount to first-degree murder.
Now, in all, 6 witnesses took the stand today. The fourth one, Dr. Nathaniel Patterson, performed Massie's autopsy. He testified Massie could have survived the shooting if medical treatment had been provided sooner and bleeding had been controlled. Sean Grayson never attempted to control the bleeding. In fact, he told his partner, Deputy Dawson Farley, not to worry about getting his med kit because it was a headshot.
I'm gonna go get my kit. Now, if you headshot, you're done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot.
Farley did try to control the bleeding. 2 minutes after the shooting, Farley grabbed a towel from the kitchen counter and put it on Massie's head.
Dr. Patterson was on the stand for 44 minutes. During his testimony, photos of Massie's autopsy were displayed on the screen.
News Channel 20's Monique Davis was inside the courtroom during the testimony. She joins us live in Peoria with the latest. Monique.
That's right. The autopsy photos were very difficult to look at. And Sonia Massie's family, some of them walked out of the courtroom as the photos flashed across the screen. The jury and audience viewed photos detailing Massie's gunshot wound. Dr. Patterson testified the bullet entered Massie's face under her left eye and exited the left side of her neck. The bullet didn't go through her brain, but it cut the left carotid artery in half. Not much emotion from the jury, but multiple members of the Massie family covered their eyes, cried, or quickly exited the room. Sonia's dad remained stoic, even though his eyes were red. Now Sean Grayson shifted from looking at the photos to staring at the ground or even taking notes. And some of Grayson's supporters glanced at the Massie family or closed their eyes. Reporting live from the Peoria County Courthouse, I'm Monique Davis. Back to you.
Thanks, Monique. Now, during cross-examination, Grayson's attorneys noted Massie had marijuana and gabapentin in her system, both depressants. Gabapentin is mainly prescribed to treat nerve pain. The defense says both could cause distorted perception and cause effects to the nervous system. Now, other witnesses today included 2 crime scene investigators with the Illinois State Police. Hallie Carls-Miller, who is an expert of firearm and tool mark identification and works in the ISP crime lab. Dr. Nathaniel Patterson, retired Sergeant Anthony Regato. He's been a crisis intervention instructor since 2006 and a retired police chief from LaGrange, Georgia, Lou Dekmar. Dekmar testified on police policy and procedure.
Sonia's children were at the courthouse today. Her son Malachi entered the courtroom during the first witness's testimony. Her daughter Summer did not, but sat in the gallery, but instead stayed in the hallway. Now, a juror has been dismissed from the trial. Our team was in the courtroom, and it says it was because of a personal problem. We're working to determine if it was one of the original 12 jurors or one of the alternates. Stay with us on our website and follow us on social media as we provide more information as it becomes available. Tonight at 6, as the Sean Grayson murder trial continues in Peoria County, our Mark Hespin breaks down how many law enforcement officers are convicted when they face criminal charges for their actions while on duty.
Well, Sonia Massie's death has been impacting Sangamon County since she was killed last year in July, including the creation of the Massie Commission. Our Emily Jordan joins us in studio with more.
Around 35 people attended the last community listening session for the Massie Commission Wednesday night, including some of our alderpersons and members of the Massie family. Dr. Kelly Hurst, the managing director, says that although the commission will sunset after its last meeting Monday, she's heard from the community that the work isn't over.
What I heard in the room was we need more. Like, this isn't enough. And also, this room really tonight could not even contain all of the things that we needed to talk about. This is not the ending of it. This is just, we're finishing one portion, and the next portion belongs to the people.
Dr. Hurst says we can expect the commission to vote on its 26 calls to action by Monday. Some of those ideas include adopting a small business corridor on the east side, expanding crisis response teams, 988 aligned civilian crisis teams, campaigns to educate the community about their rights, and more. Dr. Hurst says once Monday's meeting is over, the real work begins. I'm Emily Jordan. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. Now, the last Massie Commission meeting will be October 27th, starting at 6 p.m. at the Memorial Health Learning Center.
And make sure you don't miss any of our trial coverage throughout the week by heading over to our website, newschannel20.com. You can also get live updates on what's happening inside the courtroom by following our X account. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Dawn Sterling.
And I'm Stacey Skryzak. Shocking information out of the courtroom today. An expert witness says Sonia Massie could have survived the gunshot wound if aid had been rendered right away.
The trial for former Sangamon County Deputy Sean Grayson just wrapped up its fourth day, the second day of testimony. Grayson is on trial for first-degree murder. He shot and killed Sonia Massie inside her home July of 2024. Prosecutors say Grayson violated policing standards. His attorneys say it was a tragedy, but it doesn't amount to first-degree murder.
It was another emotional day for jurors and family members inside the courtroom. 6 witnesses took the stand. Dr. Nathaniel Patterson performed the autopsy on Massie. He says she died from blood loss, and if the bleeding had been stopped, she could have survived. The body camera footage shows Grayson telling his former partner not to bother rendering aid because it was a headshot. Now, 2 of the 6 witnesses today were from the Illinois State Police. Both work within the crimes unit and were called to assist the investigation.
News Channel 20's Monique Davis has been in the courtroom all week, and she joins us now live from Peoria to share what both troopers had to say on the stand. Monique?
That's right. The state had both ISP workers present physical evidence to the jury, and the audience leaned in intently to catch every word. ISP Trooper Emily Maulding testified she was sent to collect evidence, including the robe Sonia Massie wore when she was shot. The state showed a photo of the bloodied robe to the jury, and Sonia Massie's mom, Donna, buried her face in her hands while the jury took notes. Trooper Maulding showed the physical pot Grayson ordered Massie to put down in the body camera footage. Both Sean Grayson and James Wilburn, Sonia's dad, sat straight-faced as they listened to Trooper Maulding. The third witness was Hallie Miller. She works in the ISP crime lab and testified for the state as a firearm expert. She showed the jury the gun Grayson shot Massie with. As the state questioned Carls Miller, members of the jury leaned forward to hear her testimony. Grayson would glance at the jury as Carls Miller broke down the evidence. Now supporters of Sean Grayson were smirking and nodding while the defense conducted their cross-examination. Reporting live in Peoria, I'm Monique Davis. Back to you.
Thanks, Monique. Other witnesses today included a retired police sergeant, Anthony Regano. He has been a crisis intervention instructor since 2006.
There was also a retired police chief from LaGrange, Georgia, who testified on police policy and procedure. Now, there's still 10 more witnesses who could testify for the prosecution. The state will continue to call more witnesses tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Also new tonight, a juror has been dismissed from the trial. Our team in the courtroom says it was because of a personal problem. We're working to determine if it was one of the original 12 jurors or one of the alternates. Stay with us on our website and follow us on social media as we provide more details as they become available. As the trial continues, there are questions about how often law enforcement officers face punishments for their actions. Our Mark Hespin joins us with this report.
With the Sean Grayson trial now underway, it's highlighting the trend of how few law enforcement officers face criminal charges for their actions while on duty. According to the police violence report, 1,270 people were killed by law enforcement in 2024. 96% of those incidents were officer-involved shootings. The other 4% is made up of things like vehicular, physical force, and taser deaths. Now, what makes the Sean Grayson case even more rare is that of these 1,270 deaths, he is one of only 10 officers charged with a crime. That comes out to less than 1% of officers involved in an officer-involved shooting being charged. The data shows Sean Grayson is in rare company as an officer that was actually charged in a death case. But while these numbers show few police officers are charged in officer-involved shootings, even fewer are convicted. According to a study from Bowling Green University, between 2005 and 2019, only 4 total law enforcement officers were convicted of murder. 4 total in 14 years. Now, as the state brings their murder case against Sean Grayson, legal experts we've spoken to say his case could set a precedent for how police interact with the public and how these cases are handled.
Well, the commission named in Massie's honor is nearing its end. The Massie Commission held its final listening session Wednesday night, with their final recommendations expected to be handed over to the Sangamon County in just a few days. News Channel 20's Emily Jordan's breaking down the call to action its leaders are urging.
I spoke to Dr. Kelly Hurst, the managing director of the Massie Commission, who says the biggest challenge is what comes next. The Massie Commission is set to vote on its recommendations for Sangamon County come Monday. During the meeting, officials were able to hear from community members about their concerns that the Massie Commission's work isn't enough yet. But Hurst is urging the community to step up to the challenge.
It's just the will of the people. What is the will of the people? What is the will of this community? What is the will of the school district, the county, the city, the nonprofits, the organizations, the businesses? What is that will? And it's getting louder and louder in this room for sure.
Hurst says the biggest question is who is coming in next to further the Massie Commission's work. In response to frustration voiced by the community about who has been present at the commission's meetings, Hurst says leadership doesn't have to come with a title. She says it's who is willing to get their hands dirty. I'm Emily Jordan. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. Now, the last Massie Commission meeting will be October 27th, starting at 6 p.m. at the Memorial Health Learning Center. And make sure you don't miss any of our trial coverage throughout the week by heading over to our website, newschannel20.com. You can also get live updates on what's happening inside the courtroom by following our X account.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more videos from News Channel 20.